Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, young and old, come one, come all. Tonight, we are going to witness the most anticipated podcast in the history of podcasting. For the people in attendance and the millions listening around the world, this is the moment you have all been waiting for. It's the Off Track FMX podcast. We are live. Introducing first, broadcasting out of the red corner, hailing from Seattle, Washington, standing 6 feet 3 inches tall, with what's described as a PBR dad bod. It's Jeff Shanae, also known as SMP Jeff, also known as Sister, also known as The Sister, also known as Sister. Next up, coming out of the blue corner, he hails from Renton, Washington, standing 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighing in at 200 pounds. He's the number 153 on the track and number 1 in your hearts. It's none other than Greg Crater, known around the world as See Ya Later Crater, and sometimes known as the Gregosaurus. If you want to get a hold of us, go to our website at www.offtrackfmxpodcast.com or send us an email at offtrackfmxpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on all the usual social media spots at Off Track FMX Podcast. And now, this is truly the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time! Strap in and get ready for 2 hours of podcasting gold!
But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
All right, everybody, it's Monday, and today our special guest is a guy I consider a good friend of mine. I've probably known him since the mid to late 90s. His name is Ryan Capes. Flying Ryan is a nickname of his, I believe, and I used to call him Scrapies. Yeah, so Ryan Capes, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, not much. Just chilling during this pandemic.
Yeah, it's a crazy time out there. This is not normally how we do our show. Usually me and Crater are in studio together, but unfortunately with the crazy world we're living in today, everybody's got to be 6 feet away.
Right? Social distancing.
Yep. Yeah. I don't want to get in no more trouble. I ain't trying to get arrested again. I don't need none of that. So I'm staying in my house. I'm keeping Crater away from me. Just kidding. I was trying to talk him into coming over, but his wife was like, no. And yeah, I just got out of Ground Zero, Evergreen Hospital. I was in the hospital for a week straight.
What were you in there for?
Dude, I blew out. I got pancreatitis. Apparently, I mean, yeah, the doctor said no more drinky. Like ever again, she said, you can't. She's like, I don't care if it's Christmas. I don't care if it's 4th of July. I don't care if it's your birthday. You cannot drink anymore.
Is it going to stop you?
Yeah. Dude, it was painful. It was brutal. Crater could probably vouch. I called him, and I know in my voice.
It didn't sound like a place that I wanted to be.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be tough, dude. It was hurting. I was like, phew, give me that button. Give me that Dilaudid button. Right. Which is scary, you know. I mean, I was.
We don't want to go down that road.
Yeah, but I was in some serious pain, dude. It was not fun. So yeah, it's, you know, I've never really. I mean, I don't know. Don't consider myself a big drinker. I probably drink a little more than, but it's not something I enjoy a lot, so I won't have any problem quitting it. They took away my other fun stuff a long time ago, and now, but hey, we still got the MMJs.
Yeah, I don't fuck with that shit.
No,
No.
I have to. It's my one vice.
Fuck that. It's too strong, man. Fuck that.
That's
shit.
true. That is, yeah. It's not like it used to be back in the good old 90s.
No.
Yeah, the old beaster bud.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's start going over your career. What was the first time you rode? You grew up on Woodby, right?
Yeah, Woodby Island. Yep.
I know there's a pretty cool video of you hitting a 60-foot super kicker. Talk about that.
It was my first comp ramp. Let's just say that, but it was a super kicker for sure.
It was pretty steep. Talk about that day.
Just built a ramp, built a landing, and fucking went for it. Set at 60 feet and fucking OJ'd the shit out of it, and was like 45 feet in the air.
Yeah, buddy.
Stock kicks, 250 suspension. It wasn't fun.
No.
Oh
boy.
Yeah. So I grew up on Woodby Island, and I started riding dirt bikes. Like all my friends had bikes. It's sort of rural area, and there was always trails by the road, so it was like almost a means for us to like meet up after school. We'd get on our dirt bikes and sort of ride to each other's house, and we were like a gang of dirt bike bros, and that like went on from like 7 to 10 years old.
Nice.
10, 11, and yeah, we built jumps and just had fun. I mean, that was the good old days where,
What year was that? Around what year was that?
It was, let's see, I was on a KX80. It was like, so I had a KX80. My first 80 was 1981.
Okay. What year were you born in?
No. It was, sorry. I had a Yamaha first and then a KX80. My first 80 was a 79 Yamaha.
Nice.
I was 9 years old. I was born in 1980.
Okay, cool. That's kind of what I thought, 1980.
Yeah. And, I had a KX80 and I was hitting all the big jumps that all the guys on the island were hitting, and my dad's friend was like, hey, you want to go racing? I said, yeah, I definitely do. So I went, he packed me up, took me over to Monroe Arena Cross. I was 11 years old on a KX80 and didn't know what I was doing. I think I wrecked like 3 times in my main event. Like, I was out of control. I think I was jumping everything.
Dude, Arena Cross is tight. You definitely have to have skills to ride Arena Cross.
Once I did that, I was hooked, and I think like right around, I switched to 125s really early. I didn't stay on 80s. I like to jump, and it was easier I learned real quick. It was easier for me to jump 125 than 80.
Yeah, more power.
Yeah.
More power, go further.
Big
yeah,
wheels.
so I was like the kid on the 125 that had blocks, and probably
Like
shouldn't be
Eric
riding that
Wanch?
thing for like 4 years. I actually, you know what? Let's say I probably should ride it with blocks still. So Jesus.
You're not that short. I mean,
No, not that good.
yeah.
Yeah, those were good old days. I had a track in my backyard. My dad owned a heavy equipment / construction company. So, I built jumps, and I remember like my dad would leave the backhoe home and I'd build this jump, and my dad would pull up and be like, what? You're not jumping that. There's no way. And sure as shit, I'd hit that thing, and he's just like, oh my God, and it's funny too, because like at that age, I remember watching Robbie Knievel jump the Grand Canyon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, me and my dad watched it, and I looked at him and I was like, man, I would never do that. That's just stupid.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. I thought you'd have been like, dude, I'll do that today. Because, I mean,
Yeah, it was like a 140-foot gap or something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the Grand Canyon. It was like a sliver.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It gets narrow at points.
Yeah.
With hay bale stacks to catch him when he cartwheels off the little roller after the jump.
Yeah, the deal with
That's
that,
so bad.
I talked to Robbie about that jump. Me and Robbie are really good friends. Good guy.
Nice.
He did that jump, and so they had permits to build the landing ramp and the takeoff ramp, but it was tribal land.
Oh, that's right, Indian land. Yep.
He couldn't touch anything after the landing ramp. Like they wanted to smooth it out and shit, and the tribal were like, no. So it was just like whooped out, like desert. You know, it was just crazy, gnarly. And he came off that landing ramp at like 80, 90 miles an hour and just had nowhere to go, really.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he was from Snohomish or something, right?
He's from the coast, out on the coast. Port Angeles.
All right.
Do you still talk to him at all, or every now and then?
Rarely.
Yeah.
All those distance jumpers sort of like we're sort of washed up. We're all retired. So.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a few new cats, but like rather than that, like
really, it doesn't happen no more.
Yeah, I see Sethro every once in a while and Trigger, but haven't talked to Robbie in a while. And obviously, me and Evil were really good friends, but he passed away in 2007. So
yeah, I want to get into that later. Yeah, because didn't he called you the king of distance jumping, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like I said, we can get into that later when we try to go chronologically, but we're really not good at it. But we're learning. Yeah. This is still a work in progress for us. So appreciate your time and help
tonight with me telecommuting and not being able to mute him. But
yeah, and I love it.
That sucks, doesn't it? That's a fun button, right?
Yeah.
That's my favorite button.
He likes to shut me up.
He definitely likes his run-on sentences, doesn't he?
Yeah, buddy.
He babbles.
I told you, I'm gonna talk.
That's not a bad thing, though.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a bad thing until you're trying to let the other guy talk. The interview.
Stop it.
Yeah.
It's a show about me. So then, what year are we in now? You're what? You're past 10. You were racing locally, Monroe.
11 was when I started racing.
Yep.
Monroe River Cross.
You raced SIR, whatever they call it nowadays.
Pacific Raceway.
Yeah, didn't you go out there quite a bit too?
Yeah, I actually love that track a lot.
Yeah.
That's I would say that would be my home track when I was a kid.
Nice.
Yeah. Hanging out with the boys there, like Randy Futrall and
yeah.
Oh God,
Neutral.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. But yeah, so I rode 80s that year, and then I switched to 125s and started jumping. And I was, I look back at my whole career, and I was more free riding and hitting really big jumps all the time. Even when I was racing full time. Like my whole childhood, I raced motocross. Like. It's just a really good lifestyle, and like I promote it for anybody and their kids because that's how I grew up, was at the track every weekend, and it helped me keep my nose clean and fly straight.
Yeah.
And it's a good environment, it's a good atmosphere, but it's hard on the parents because of the financial burden. But other than that, I swear by it. It was some of my best memories.
It's a good community.
So I went to 125s, and about that time, I met a crew of guys, and this is when I met Jeff. I was probably, what do you think, 13, 14?
Yep. Yeah, probably right around there.
Yep, 125, and I hooked up with Ryan Hemans. He was running Seattle Cycle Center. And
Murphy and Matt Walker and...
Yep, Matt, Jed,
yeah,
Galinar, all those guys. Like, and that just opened my doors. I was on the Seattle Cycle Center racing team at that point, and my whole amateur I was with all those guys, and Ryan would take me to the races and stuff because my parents couldn't go a lot, so he took care of me until I got old enough to start driving. But every weekend I would pack my bags and ride across the ferry, and Ryan Hemans lived on the other side. He'd pick me up, and we'd go racing all weekend. Wherever, all over the state.
Yeah, or out to the dunes or whatever.
Yeah, we went out to Moses and other places, free riding places. I had a pretty gnarly free riding place on the island. just was doing the racing thing more than anything. And, I went from 125 beginner to junior to intermediate and just struggled. By the time I got intermediate, I just struggled financially to make a difference, to get the right bikes, to get everything. And I was like the wild child anyways, like I wasn't out of control or doing crazy stuff. Well, maybe a little bit, but I was a kid that was, when I was in 125 beginner, I was the only one that would hit the triple at SIR. Like I just didn't give a fuck. I hit anything.
You were a jumper.
And that sort of stuck with me. And, I was good at jumping, really. I like jumping. So I would say when I was on 80s, I told my mom and I told my teachers that I wanted to become a pro motorcycle rider, make money riding motorcycles. And it's funny because that's what I ended up doing, a little kid from Whidbey Island, Washington. And like how hard it is if you're not living in California to make it. And, I would even say the hardest thing about being up here isn't, all these kids are fast, really fast. It's just a lack of sponsorship up here to where somebody in California can really get good sponsors and get noticed, and they're out there every day. And that really hurt my career too, but I would say from being from Washington, I was probably the best, jumper at marketing myself and getting big sponsors.
Yeah, you did do pretty good at that. Yeah, I remember the thing I remember about you a lot too is you loved to jump. You would practice jumping. Sometimes, a spot would be good for a while or whatever. I remember lots of local places. I don't remember their names, but families that would let you use their land and stuff and have jumps and stuff. You always built big jumps and it seemed like you were always hitting big jumps.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then when did you start riding for Ride Motorsports? Was that one of the next steps in your career after some point?
That was quite a ways longer.
Okay.
So still on 125s. I just got a 250 and was racing both classes, and I was jumping my 250. Love that thing, Honda CR 250. And
what year was it? What year was the Honda CR250?
This was it was 97 to 99.
Okay.
And 99 was my senior year.
Yeah.
And that summer I filmed with Moto XXX for the first time on Whidbey Island at a really sick undisclosed spot with really big jumps.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
And was that was your first time filming, kind of?
Yeah, it was my first time. It was sort of my break. I ended up, filming with Moto XXX after that. Built a relationship with them, got sponsored by them, and met a guy named Jay Schweizer who ended up making the On the Pipe videos, and it is a really good friend of mine from the motorcycle industry.
Yep.
Yeah, but that was my first break, filmed with them. Lance Smell saw me at the track. We were talking. I was telling him about some big hits. And he said, Moto XXX is coming up in a couple of weeks. I'll have them give you a call. They might come out and film you. And I was like, yeah. I gave Lance my number, and I'm like, yeah, that probably won't happen. And then I'm not even joking. Saturday morning, I get this call from Lance saying, hey, my family lives over on Whidbey Island. I got Jordan Burns and his crew from XXX. They're going to come up with me. They want to film you for the day. And I was just like, what? Get the fuck out of here.
You're like, this is the best day ever.
Ever. Like, yeah. I was just smiles.
Pumped.
Just, all about it.
You're like, I'm going to be in a fucking video.
I had this, really big hit over a valley. It was 120, 150 feet, something like that.
Which was huge back then.
It was huge.
That's what people don't understand too. Yeah, you were setting the record. You were doing the biggest jumps at the time. Crazy.
Yeah, I remember around that same time, Cressy ended up going over to Eastern Washington over there by Moses Lake, and Skylar and Jenny built that huge.
Yep. Yeah. Sinkmar was there, I think, and
Yeah, it was
Yep.
like 120 footer or something.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, that was a cool jump.
I showed up. I heard about it. You guys talked about it or something. I went over there, showed up. I was all by myself. Nobody was out there.
Oh dear.
And I was like, there's really just that big jump. And I was like, fucking, I want to hit this thing. And I fucking hit it like a dumb fuck.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody out there. It was just me.
It was gnarly too. It was a gnarly 120-foot jump. It wasn't like it wasn't like a huge mellow landing. It was dirt to dirt. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think like Sinkmars was sketched about it.
Yep.
And Billy Binkley showed up and like hit it like 8 times, and Sinkmars still didn't hit it. I think he was just like, he's all scared and shit. But you know,
it happens.
Yeah, I hit it like 3 times. The first time I OJ'd the shit out of it, and then I timed it pretty good. I think it was 3rd gear.
At least you were by yourself. That's always smart.
Yeah, you know, that's it. You know, like why have somebody there when you're trying to jump one of the biggest jumps in the industry?
Yeah, exactly.
Why
not set a record? Why not set a record alone?
I did a lot of stupid things. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We've all done that.
Yeah.
Not me. I've never done anything stupid.
Well, maybe not you. You're pretty calculated in life.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like an angel. All right, so that was, you got 97, 99 Honda. What year? I think it was a Kawasaki. I remember you had it black and white, like checkerboard kind of, but like big checker. Yeah. Like it was, the 4 panels were like, that was a crazy bike. Was that a Cowie?
Yeah. It was a Cowie. I switched back to Cowies in 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 2000. No, 99. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was 99. And at that point, I hooked up with this guy named Ron down south, and tried to do a lot of amateur nationals. I was in an intermediate class, was trying to make it, turn pro and get some shit. I don't know what I was thinking, because
were you getting paid or sponsorships for jumping at this point? Is that kind of where you came up with?
I didn't have any paying sponsors yet. I had people that financially helped me, but I wasn't making any money.
Sure.
I had sponsors at that point, so I was getting notoriety. I was filming and stuff, and it was right after my senior year, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna start hitting ramps. And that was like right around the whole ramp scene when it all started, and freestyle motocross really took,
it was the beginning.
Yeah. So I was pretty much around at the beginning, I ended up hooking up with Tex, Mike Davenport, he was really tied in with the Krusty crew.
Yeah, and Fox. Fox.
But so you were still trying to go race, though, even though you were starting to get some money, some notoriety through the jumping. You were still trying to go race in amateur.
Yeah, I was still trying to become pro. Like I wanted to race Supercross, bro. Like that's really, but like it just, the lack of funding. I mean, it takes, in racing nowadays, I feel sorry for those kids, because it takes $1 million to make $1 million. Like it's just it's fucked up. It actually takes $2 million
to make $1 million. Yeah.
In a hurry.
Yeah, and it goes quick.
Yep.
And I would say now, though, the amateur rankings has way more sponsorship.
Oh God, yeah.
And they're helping. Some of those kids are on factory bikes, and
by the age of 8,
their parents are getting checks and stuff. So I mean, I'm glad it's coming along.
Yeah.
It sucks that the motorcycle industry took such a hit in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it just really sucks. I mean, fuck. Ricky Carmichael, he was saying 2007 was really the last big year making good money in Supercross. And, Ricky and Stewart were probably making, I think Ricky was pulling in like 40 mil, and Bubba was pulling in like 30 or 20 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know Bubba made a lot of money too, but like after that, and it's funny because Villapoto even says that, he made more money riding a 250F than he did on a 450, which is weird.
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, it's just gotta be bonus stuff.
Yeah, it was a lot of bonus stuff. A lot of those guys make really good money in the 250 class if they, you know,
right? If they win,
if they win, it's just a matter of if they win.
I mean, he was doing that before the economy kind of did what it did, you know.
Yeah, they all did, you know, and that's when the money was getting made, and that's like, you know, I rode it out till about 2010, then I retired, and you know, it was just the fucking well dried up, you know. Like, and it's still dry. Like, there's not money like it used to be at all, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we have this pandemic, and nobody's working, and
right.
It's just weird. That's just, this whole era is just weird. It trips me out.
It does. It is, fucking going
Weird.
Crazy. Crazy
Don't
time.
go to Evergreen. It's worse there.
Don't go to any hospital.
Dude, trust me, I was so scared. I did not want to go to the hospital, but I was in so much pain. I'm like, dude, I fucking have to go to the emergency room right now. It was the worst experience, too. Like, I went to the emergency room, and I was there for like 4 hours, and then they sent me home. They're like, no, you're good. Sent me home. I went home for like 4 hours, and I'm like, I have to go back. I'm in so much pain. It's like worse. So I had to go back to the emergency room. Then they admitted me into the hospital for like a week. And then getting discharged, they like didn't have my medicine. Oh, it's just terrible experience.
That sucks. And that's what? Evergreen over in
Kirkland.
On the east side?
Yeah.
Ground zero.
Yeah, fuck. I've been to all of them.
Where are you living at these days, Capes?
I live in North Seattle.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the summer in California.
Oh, nice.
This summer. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that or Tahoe, one or the other. I'm getting out of here for a while. I'm just burned out on Washington.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I did a jump in Reno and set a record. And, like, I really like that area, so I think I might go out there.
Nice.
Tahoe's awesome, man. That place.
Yeah, I'm semi-retired. You know, I work part-time.
Nice.
And I just live a pretty modest, chill life. I got my son full time, and I'm just
dude,
I'm just doing me.
I've seen. I mean, yeah, you look ripped in the pictures I've seen lately. Like, I mean, I don't know if you're getting your stuff from a Russian scientist or what, but you had like an 8-pack, and you look like you're 25. I'm like, God, Capes looks good.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time in the gym now.
A lot of hard work. Yeah. Seriously, you're looking great, bro.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because it's sort of sad to say, but I'm in better shape now than when I was jumping motorcycles.
Oh, 100, dude, I'm serious. I saw a picture the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, it doesn't even look. Yeah, you're doing.
Might be less partying now, though.
What's that?
What's that?
Might be a little less partying now, though.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with it.
Weird how that works, huh, Capes?
Yeah, I have my moments, but
yeah. All right, so let's get back. What are we around? I know I got in my notes here. I got 2002. You did the Unleash the Freaks tour. How was that?
Yeah. So before that.
Yep.
Yeah, like on the Cowie, I was starting to hit ramps. I built ramps, and it was sort of my backyard bullshit. And at the same time, I met up with Tex, and he had that big kicker in his backyard.
Yep, that was awesome.
Yeah, I went there and started session with him. I really broke down with him. And,
hey, I got a question. Did you at that time? Did you meet Brian Downing?
Yeah. Me and Brian were friends. We were actually friends from racing.
Is he still alive? Did he pass away?
What?
I don't know. I thought
that was bullshit. That was
okay.
True.
Yeah. You know how rumor. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Whew.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, because he was a good freestyler too.
That dude's a crazy motherfucker, man. I had a lot of fun with him. Dude, he's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
if you were hanging out with him, was he hanging with Mitch Merritt too at the time?
Probably.
Yeah, Mitch. Yep.
Yep. All right. Yeah. I ended up racing with those guys a little bit.
Yeah, up at Hannigan, I remember Hannigan all the time.
Oh yeah.
Brian was fast up there.
Brian was blazing fast at times. Like when he was on, I was glad he kind of was done racing pro by the time I was just starting. So. Yeah,
he was good up there, but he was at other tracks
I saw him go fast at Monroe Arena Cross a few times too, like shockingly.
When he was on, he was
pretty
hard to beat.
Yeah. So yeah, you're up at Texas House jumping. I remember going up there and that place is fun.
Yeah,
he still owns that property. He
in
still has that
Rocky.
property, I think.
What's that?
He still has that property, I think.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and that was on the Crusty, or no, that was on Terra Firma Fox.
Yep. Yeah. And then the Tex games. Did you do the Tex games too?
I didn't do the first year. No, I was sick. And
Okay.
Me and my girlfriend were fighting and shit. And
Yeah.
like, I had my truck loaded up, and I was just like, yeah.
It happens.
I wasn't getting paid, and Brian and a couple other guys were, and I was just like sort of over it.
Yeah.
You know, like I already had that prima donna freestyle attitude. Like, I'm not getting paid. Fucking good. But you know what? I regret it, and I wish I would have done it because Tex helped me out so much.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He's a good dude, and he really cared about the industry, and really helped some younger guys make it. And I would say without his influence, I wouldn't have made it.
Wow, that's cool. That's good to know. That's big ups. Yeah. I want to try to get him on the podcast one of these Monday nights too, for sure. He's got an interesting story as well, I'm sure. I know. I mean,
he does. He does.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, at this point, like 2000, 2001, I was racing a little bit, but I knew that at this point I was going to be doing freestyle motocross. Like, I was already throwing heart attacks and was doing big no-footed cans. I remember like 2000, I was on a Honda. 2000, I switched back to a Honda CR250, and Dan Tungle had that track out Mount Vernon.
Yep, the Tungle Jungle.
Yeah, he had that big double out there.
Yep.
Like sort of like a freestyle area, and we ended up setting up H&H, Brett and Ryan's company. We set up some ramps out there like after a while.
Hey, Capes, can you see us? Can you see what I'm holding up right now? Look at this. I got two things.
My phone's up. No, I can't see you. Hold on. Where'd you go? Holy shit.
I'm here. Woo, baby.
I got my phone covered up because I don't want to. I'm still laying in bed. I'm lazy.
It's okay. It's all right.
Hey, Jeff, put your pants on. It's okay.
Yeah, it's all good, right?
You see it?
Yeah. I stayed up entirely way too late with my girlfriend. Hold on one second.
It's quarantine. Everybody, you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah,
it's a different time.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm not buying into this bullshit. But it's just too weird. It could be a lot of different things, but I'm trying to fucking figure out my phone. Holy shit! I got to go to Facebook, right? No.
Yeah. Oh, you should.
No, I'm over it. I can't figure it out. Oh, here we go. Somebody else is calling me, and they're gonna have to wait.
Yeah, don't answer that. We're doing a podcast.
Yeah, not gonna. Yeah, I'm over it. I can't see you.
It's an old. I got an H&H VHS Productions thing, and I also have it's just like a home video thing. It says Capes Promo Vid ×2 or number 2 or something.
Yeah.
Some old school VHS Capes action there for you.
Yeah. I was in S&P.
I don't know. I haven't watched them in a while. I'm gonna put them in. I have a VCR. I'm gonna throw them in one of these days soon and check them out. Once I get going too, when I build the Instagram and stuff too, I'm gonna put some of. I have a stack here of like old pictures and stuff from us hanging out, like and some of the stuff we'll get into later. But like the game, that place in Vegas. Remember when you set that record?
Vegas. Which time?
The Great American Motorcycle Extravaganza or whatever.
Huh.
It was. I think it was. It was in 05, I think. Yeah. I think it was in October 05. So we're probably not there yet in the big scheme of things, but sometimes I get crazy talking.
Yep.
So you're doing you just had hooked up with Tex and.
Yep. My phone's beeping. It's weird. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's crazy. I can hear it.
I think someone's
Right?
someone's
what the
calling and they're not hanging up. Okay, I think they finally hung up. They're like, get the clue, I'm
No,
not
it's
answering.
it's still going. Like, I'm trying to figure out.
Oh yeah,
what
it
I
is
like to
still
do in
going.
chat.
Oh.
Nope. Dude, I hate phones. There we go.
Nice.
I see ya. I got you covered up, though.
Now you can show him.
Oh, you can see
Yeah.
now? Here, check this out, dude. Oops.
Oh, yeah.
H and H, and then we got this little guy, this.
Promo. Yep.
Dude, you know those got to be good. That's some
Yeah,
early.
for
That's
sure.
some early scrapey stuff right there. Look, I also got just a stack of. These are all pictures of you from
Oh, tight.
different things. Yeah, this one. Hang on, where's this one? Oh, where's it?
I see he's filtered through and taken the naked ones out now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the
Yeah,
one that I was talking about. This is the 310. I
Yeah,
think.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at this
Yep.
guy. Look at.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
How about
That's-
this guy? I remember I took you this trip.
When I busted my chin wide open?
Yeah. I don't remember where we were. That was like
Which time?
Monroe.
Which
Yeah,
time?
exactly. That was Monroe Hospital.
Oh, God. Monroe's scary.
Yeah, it is. I've
Fuck
been,
that place.
Yeah.
I begged them to take me to Everett, and Everett isn't much better. So, like,
Look at this, Capes. I have this too. This was the old version of like sliding into DMs, dude. You're hitting on.
that's Homan.
You're hitting on your mom.
There we go.
No, you're hitting on my mom. Too Peggy.
Yeah, hell yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Come on,
bro.
do it.
Why you gotta hit on? Why you gotta hit on my mom, bro?
Yeah.
What are you doing, Scrapies? All right, so let's get back. You meet and text. You're riding to his house. Are you doing? Because you did freestyle contests too, not a ton, but you did.
No,
some.
I actually did a ton of
Did you?
stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Which ones were you doing?
I did a lot throughout my career, to be honest.
Just
like,
random ones like for Lee Collins or did you do any like IFMAs?
I hooked up with some major guys. Like once I started riding for Sobe, I did a lot of Mark Burnett stuff, and just throughout the years, I started my own freestyle company and did shit locally and around the area, in Canada and stuff.
Cool.
Just staying busy. Like freestyle motocross carried me through the younger part of my distance career. It sort of went hand in hand, to finance everything.
Yep.
And I, to be honest, like it wasn't that much fun. Like, well, I would say, at first, the Unleash the Freaks tour, and a lot of that stuff was like, it was cool, like I was young and it was interesting, and and then towards the end of my career, it was this fucking I hated it. It was like I would come home Sunday or Monday, catch a flight home, ride my bike, hang out with friends, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday get ready, Friday fly out and be somewhere else the next weekend. And it just got old really quick. And like I think one year I did like like close to 1 million miles or something. Like I think I did 65 weeks straight.
Jeez.
Jesus.
I think there's
Yeah.
56 weeks in a year, so that's a lot of traveling.
52.
52.
Oh,
Yeah.
What did I say?
56.
56. Whatever.
56.
Hey,
Yeah.
BHS
So,
95.
like-
Some people get that joke, some people won't. But hey,
It's just, I mean, I just was missing home. I was going crazy. And, about that was like 2005, 2004, 2005, because I was,
that was when
I was
you
with
did.
the-
So 2005 in my notes, I see that was when you did 310.4 ramp gap 235. That was at. That was the Vegas one. Yeah,
Vegas was 260.
260.
Yeah.
I wonder what this one was. 2005, October 29th, 310.
That was actually at Pacific Raceways when I went 310.
Oh, yep, you're right.
Yeah, let's back it up a little bit.
Back.
That was like 2003, 2004 when I did 65 days straight.
Okay.
It was ridiculous because I was like, I remember like flying home from filming with Krusty's down in Mexico, and I was down in Mexico for like almost a month filming with the Krusty Demons. And I was just we were fucking doing coke and fucking, it was out of control. And I remember flying home, and Lee Collins calls me as I'm at the airport, and he's like, "Hey, we got a show tonight." And I'm like, "Fuck, what? Fuck." It burned me out.
Party.
Yeah, and so 2000, that year I was just like, fuck it, I'm over freestyle. I'm just so burned out. I remember flying to Travis's house and learning backflips and stuff like that. I just was like constantly fucking in shuttle. And I went to Europe that year. I went to South America. I went all over the world. Like, it was just fucking too much, and I didn't know how to say no. And my girlfriend at the time broke up with me because I was never home, and she just thought I was out fucking all these girls and shit. Like, it was out of control. Like, and then I was with Sobe then, and then I was talking to a friend of mine, and he knew Scott Sitkovic, and I signed with Monster that year, the end of that year, and that's when my career really took off at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to throw any numbers out there, like what you were getting from some of these companies? Were they big checks?
Yeah, I could say it, but let me tell you, there was, I think, like 3 or 4 of us that were making the amount of money we were making.
Yeah.
And I was one of them. I think Nate Adams was another. Twitch was another.
We're talking what, mid 3 digits or early 3 digits?
What? Like
over
6 digits.
Yeah, well, 3,
not
0
digits.
Whatever.
My best year, I pulled in like 730,000.
Jesus.
Wow, that's a good year.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd take that year.
And, it was crazy. A lot of it was TV, Australia. I did, the Cressy thing down in Australia, and TV. I got paid a big deal, and that was thanks to Evil, and
Nice.
so I was getting checks from CBS, and I was sponsored by Sam's Club that year. Like,
oh, wow.
I couldn't believe it, because I went from making like almost 500 grand to 750. I kept climbing the ladder, like from 2005, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
And in 2007, I didn't do shit. I think I did 1 record or something. Like, I didn't do shit. I had my son, and I made the most money I ever made.
Yeah.
It's sort of weird. Like, but I did a lot of jumps prior to that, and it sort of, helped me get to that point. And then 2008 and 2009 and 10, I was making, in between 500,000 and 700,000.
Yeah, 2008 was when you had that thing at Royal City. You had the big dirt run in, and you went 353, and then a couple weeks later, it was completely asphalted out, and you went 390.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy. So you're just like, dude, I know I need asphalt, and what was the bill? What was the bill for the asphalt?
What's that?
We haven't even really talked about, your first big jump was when? Your first distance.
So, okay, let's back it up. So I was with H&H in 2001.
Okay.
And, there was a couple ramp companies out. There was Free Ride Technology, and they were down California, and I was with H&H, and we were doing shows, and they were my homies, they were like my brothers. And we started building ramps, and I helped them build ramps. And so we built a standard freestyle ramp, 75, 80 feet. And then we built another ramp that was a little less steep, a little longer, a little taller, and less it was mellower. And we started jumping that, me and Hemans. It was actually Ryan's idea to build that ramp. And I think the first day I was hitting it, we started at like 80 feet and we pushed it all the way back to like 130-foot gap, and I was jumping like 150 feet by the end of the day. And like I was doing like no-handed landers off of it and fucking heart attack.
What property was that on?
What's that?
Where was that ramp located? What property was that on?
It was up in Arlington at Oberg's.
Okay, yeah, Oberg's. Yeah. Yep. That was a fun place.
That was like 2001, 2002.
Yeah, that was a good practice facility. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and by that time I had paying sponsors. I was getting paid by S&P Gear and a couple other sponsors, and then barely making it, doing freestyle shows.
Mm-hmm.
I probably from 2001 to 2002, 2003, I was making maybe 40-50 grand a year.
Yeah,
doing freestyle.
That sounds like Supercross.
Yeah, pretty similar. Except for you guys would spend twice as much money. Like we had one bike, and we would travel with our suspension. You guys had to get everywhere with your whole setup and everything. Like
terrible. Bad idea.
It's fucking horrible. What like I what? And this is, hear me out for a second. Fucking Supercross and Feld. Is it Feld that owns Supercross?
Yep.
Yeah.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
Oh, it's terrible.
Because in freestyle motocross, we were taken care of so fucking well, and fucking they would take our bikes everywhere. They would put us up. They would do everything. And you know what? What? If there's guys on a circuit that are amateurs, there should be a bus and a semi for all of them to carry them around and pay for. And Feld should pay for it.
Right.
Shame on them.
Yeah.
It's unreal how little help. I mean, the privateer guys are struggling, and without them, there's no show. I mean, they don't fill a gate with factory guys.
Yeah.
So.
And Feld is making money hand over fist.
They're making hand over fist. For them to fucking cancel the tour and to redo it later, like, they're just making hand over fist.
Oh,
you know they are.
Oh, they're making silly money.
Yeah. I mean, I know that the sponsors pretty much pay for the show, so.
Right, they pay their money before they start. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not out of pocket each round, and and pretty much tickets and TV are profit.
Yeah,
yep.
and they own the monster truck shit, and they also own like all the like Frozen musical for kids or whatever.
Oh, they own everything.
Yeah,
dude. They bought out Live Nation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're the biggest promoters in the world.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
and shame on them for how they treat the amateur guys. I just think it's a crock of shit.
It's a crock of shit how they treat the professional fucking guys too.
Well, he's talking about the privateer guys, man.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm. Yeah, professional. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, Crater was one of them for fucking many years. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard, and you know what?
He was one of the dummies.
Most people don't even realize how fucking hard it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, an amateur, like, trying to make it pro, like, I would come home crying sometimes and just be so frustrated and, like, because I had the best motivation, and I had hella passion, and I had, everything that I needed, just no funding, and it is what it is. And a lot of guys are. There's a lot of guys that probably would have been faster than Carmichael if they would have got the right funding.
Yeah. There's people out there definitely that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sad.
Yep.
So that's it. So what year are we in? Oh, and I had another question too. So at this point, wherever we're at in your career, have we missed any your injuries? What was your let's go injuries too along the way.
God.
And unfortunately, we got to talk about them.
Unfortunately, yeah. I had quite a few. I broke my back twice in my career.
Oh God, I don't know if I even knew that.
Yeah.
I think I knew one.
I was at McGrath Ranch and I didn't even know that I broke my back, and ended up going to eat Mexican food in San Diego, and my disc slipped and put pressure on my spine, and I couldn't even walk out. I was temporarily paralyzed in San Diego.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, like when you piss your pants and you don't even know it, you can't feel your pee-pee. Like that's enough to.
I've done that a week ago.
I was going to say that's different than what you're talking about, Jeff.
Yeah.
Well,
that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sober.
What's that?
Sober pissing your pants and not knowing it is different than what Jeff's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, like wet in your bed at night because you're so drunk you can't wake yourself up.
Allegedly. Allegedly. God damn, so that had to be scary. I mean, what, you had to get carried out of the Mexican restaurant? What'd you do? Could just go to the hospital right away? Or?
No, I had an ambulance come. They out cables. It was a fucking nightmare.
Oh, God.
And I wet myself. Like, it was just, the whole experience was enough to keep me off the bike for quite a while.
Yeah. What year was that?
That was 2010.
2010. What year was it when you did your arm, when you had the compartment syndrome and shit? That was a pretty gnarly injury, I know.
I did both my arms.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I did that down at Ocotillo Wells, and that was 03, 04.
Okay, so that was an early one too. Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, what happened there? Ocotillo Wells and
was hitting this fucking gnarly jump. We were sizing up and was hitting it, and the face blew out, and I came up short and snapped both my arms and wrists at the same time.
Oh, God.
Yeah, way the fuck out there. It's so scary.
Yeah, what'd you have to do? Did you get coptered out, or how long did it take you to evac?
No, Cameron Steele was there, and he took magazines and duct taped my arms up.
Oh, wow.
And, because they're all gimpy and fucking, my arms were
broken, yeah.
But, I think I got a ride from some random dude, and he went like 150 miles an hour to the
sketchy, and you can't hold on. You're just like, your arms are dangling with magazines around him.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like
he's doing 150.
The best part about it is like I learned something new about that trip, and it was like Ocotillo's right out by Glamis, and in Brawley is the hospital.
Okay.
And they are the #1 hospital in the world for compound fractures and breaks, because they see more people.
Oh, yep. Wow.
Yeah.
That's funny. So how did your what happened after that? Like, you got surgery, and then what's explain to the people what compartment syndrome is and what
So my right arm was super bad off. Like the bone, like I bounced on, I impacted, snapped both my arms, bounced. When I bounced, it pulled the bones away from each other, and I landed again. It like stabbed my arm, so it like really chewed up the inside of my arm. And compartment syndrome's where it just gets massive swelling, and the swelling's so bad that it cuts off circulation to your hand, and either they got to cut it off or they got to fillet you open to let it drain, so you can get blood flow to your hand. So, yeah, and I got a gnarly scar and a skin graft, and yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, that's
could have just had the arm pump surgery right then.
Yeah. No, I actually got both my wrists were broken, so I actually had the surgery to get rid of the carpal tunnel rings. So I never had arm pump. I never had arm pump after that. So there's a plus out of everything. Yeah.
Right.
It's a trip. And the doctor said at that point that my wrist was so bad I would never ride again.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
crazy.
sure we all got stories where the doctor says something like that.
Yeah, they dumb stuff. Just don't get me started on the medical industry. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, they give you the worst possible scenario so they don't get sued.
They're just covering their ass. Yeah. It's an unfortunate scenario, but yeah.
Everybody's practicing medicine. It's all fucking practice. So we get it. How about you fucking go pro sometime? It's just practice. We just talking about practice.
Just one race.
In practice.
Yeah. All right. So
you back to you were building ramps, and you guys were obviously just learning some of that stuff.
Yeah, so we built that one ramp, and I was like doing 150-foot hard attacks and cliffhangers and no handle landers and stuff. And like in the industry, the only person who was doing anything like that was Sink Mars. There was nobody else that was going that big and doing it except for me at that point. And so I did that for like a year, did a couple shows, and started realizing like. I think at that point with that ramp and that early in my career, a light went off, and I was just like, there's only one guy that's going for distance jumping, and that was Seth Inslow. And like I in business, we all sort of figure out like, we had that light bulb experience, like where there's a inspiration to make some money, and I realized that. There's so many freestyle motocross guys out there, and the industry is getting big. I was like, I need to separate myself from everybody else and do something nobody else is doing and seize opportunity on it. And that's where I was like, I'm going to switch over and do distance jumping.
And you were already doing it, and you were already good at it. Like,
yeah, pretty much. It was one of those meant to be sort of scenarios.
For sure.
And so I decided at that point, let's build a big ramp and go for the record. So that's what I did.
So early on the records, like you say, Seth was doing it, but I feel like some of these records were like Knievel, like you said, and then even like Doug Danger, and I mean there was some
So like Doug Danger was 251, and then Jason Rennie was 253, and Seth didn't even own the record at that point. Seth never owned the record until later on. I don't even think he ever did have the overall. Yeah. So like from Doug Danger was like in the 70s, and Jason Rennie was 93. It only went 3 feet in like 30 years.
Right.
And
but those guys were hitting like wood ramps that were like almost flat, right? Like no transition.
Yeah, they didn't have like the woo, the pop in it, like and even like through my distance career, I was noted for being one of the highest jumpers in the game.
So is that just because you had whoever was building your ramps built them that way?
No, we sort of designed them that way. Like to get free distance, you don't have to go as fast.
Right. You had those ramps being built where Seth was building Seth's ramps were flatter.
Take for instance, I'll put it into perspective. Robbie Knievel goes 92 miles an hour to jump 200 feet on his 500.
Right.
I go 92 miles an hour and jump 300 feet on my ramp. So, it's a different game, because, I as a distance jumper grew up in the freestyle era, where it was, poppy ramps so you could do tricks and stuff. And you
just combined them.
All the distance jumpers prior to that use speed and low flying because it's safer, I guess.
It's only safer if it all works out.
Through caution to
I
the
don't want to
wind.
be 90 miles an hour when it all goes sideways.
Yeah, there's a lot of sideways jumps. Fuck. Crazy. Like, it's crazy. And, at that point, I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I sort of shelved the freestyle, and that's why I didn't pursue it as much. I could have been one of the top guys in freestyle. I mean, it wasn't really, I just didn't see, I hated getting up and going every weekend and traveling and doing that.
Yeah.
Why do that when I could do 2-3 jumps a year and make the same amount of money, if not more?
Yeah, I think you did the smart thing, for sure.
And the way I looked at it is I'm a one-man show, so sponsorship's going to like that, where I'm not one guy out of 20 in a field of guys,
Yep. It's your deal. You're the show. You're the show. I mean, yeah.
I'm the show, so... Like, that's one, I mean, I was really good at marketing, and I just sort of knew that, like, that's how I'm going to make it in this industry,
So you say one-man show. I mean, were there other it's hard to be a one-man show and just be that's all that's happening today and get people to show up. You know what I mean? So were there other?
It isn't. It isn't. Like if you create it and do it the right way, you could be a one-man show and do it. And like I was a one-man show and I had I've had record-setting crowds, 50, 60,000 people. You know, it's just how you promote it.
Or, I mean, you can combine it with, like, I mean, you jump over a rave, or you do, I mean, you know, like... It's
so younger in my career, I was just going for the record.
Yeah.
Because I wanted that notoriety, and that's how I was going to make a name in the industry.
So when did you get the record, then, if it was 253 or whatever? When did you get that record?
So I out in Snohomish County, Joe Insminger let me use his property. And they were another person in my career that I wouldn't have made it without them.
For sure. I was at that. I was there that day, and I remember, dude, you hit that thing like 100 times because you would go like 250 or whatever the record was. You'd go like 251 and then 250 and then like you would get so close to it. So I'm like, dude. So it wasn't like
I was landing hard too.
Yeah. So I mean, some of these guys, you know, like whatever, Robbie, I feel like they do the jump once or whatever. But I've seen. I mean, you just did so much practice, and so I mean, whether you wanted to or not, you know, I'm sure you would have liked to have been one and done with the record. But
that was early in my career, and that was really stupid of me to do. Like later on in my career, I was way more like on point with what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was still figuring it out. What?
Early on there, you're riding a CR250, you feel like, early on?
Ride Motorsports CR250, yeah.
So you're riding a CR250, and I feel like I saw something, and it was like you set that record in fourth gear or something, right?
That was Vegas, yeah.
Okay, so...
I beat the overall. That was the first time I beat the overall and went 260 in Vegas.
Okay, and so you said, was that where you said you were landing hard, or was that up in Snohomish you were talking about?
Up in Snohomish, yeah.
Okay, so that's...
And that was actually... And then I did all the homework. I did all the homework to break the record in Snohomish, and then I went down to Vegas and had a crowd and just did it. And yeah. And I was in fourth gear, went 260, broke the overall. And then I was with Sobe, and then it just I switched over from Sobe to Monster and went for the overall record. Went 310 feet, and that's when my career just blew up. Like I went like the year before with Sobe and everything. I think I made like 105 or 110 grand, and then that next year I went from like 110 grand to like 350 grand.
Ooh.
Didn't save any money for taxes. Was like I was just young and dumb and fucking making money, you know.
Yeah. Now, which one of those? Because I was also at one of your Vegas distance jumps. It was the event was called Game. It was the Great American Motorcycle Extravaganza.
That was with Mark Burnett and Davey Hamilton.
Because they had freestyle motocross there, they had supercross. Yeah, exactly. And do you remember there was a Playboy party for you or something? Like it was like at the top of the what hotel was it? Hard Rock, I think. I don't know, but you were supposed to get me and Binkley up there, and that didn't happen. I'm still bummed on that, bro.
I fucking barely made it back to my place, and I think my girlfriend at the time broke up with me.
Yeah,
it was bad.
It was one of those. Yeah. No worries. I'm just giving you shit, but yeah, I'm like, dude, Capes. Yeah, it was like Capes. There was a Playboy party because you were like the show that weekend too. I mean, the distance thing was the big deal, and that was huge. 310 feet. That was quite a day. Like I said, I was there. I remember. When did you start realizing you needed to utilize like a speed gun or a radar system to figure out?
I was using that like the start of my career.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
I was actually, for distance jumping, I would say I was probably the smartest guy that has ever jumped distance. And you know what? Like a lot of those guys, like even Madison and even Seth, like. They learned a lot from me to stay safe, like, and I didn't mind helping anybody out, like, but man, I was on my shit. I knew what I was doing. Let's say.
Well, you were a good big jumper. I mean, your whole life, like even early on. I mean, you were just good at big jumps. That was your deal.
So early on, let's go back to early on real quick. Now you're talking about that. So like the toes jump, 08. That's not even early on, I guess, to go 353. But you did stuff at toes before that.
Yeah. Toes was like my home.
That was your hangout. Yeah.
So when you started going over there, who was building that ramp? What was that thing?
I had a friend of mine out of Montana build that ramp.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then who was doing the math to figure out how fast to go? I feel like
I was.
Okay.
And I had a lot of help from Spanky Spangler and Johnny Airtime.
Okay. I thought for some reason Ken Workman had something to do with some of that stuff.
No.
Nope. Okay.
No. It was really me. And it was like all my charts and everything were like, I had it already figured out. Like I was early on taking numbers and transitions and like I knew my shit.
So
like,
the rumor it was all TBT is false?
I would say to kids, pay attention to math because I wouldn't have been a good distance jumper without math. That's for sure.
Right.
That and I'm nearsighted or farsighted, so that helped a little bit, you know.
That's funny.
Not knowing how far shit is.
Yeah. Which is better to OJ than under J.
Yeah, I know
I don't know. It depends on the situation. I don't know. I would rather not do neither.
Yeah, rather clean it.
Yeah, right. I remember in Vegas, like after I set the record, I had to jump the next day under contract.
Oh dear.
And I went like 230 feet to flat.
Oh God.
And Skip, Norfolk, and Jeremy McGrath were right there, and they like shit their pants. I rode out of it. I don't even know how. The handlebars were like that. The handlebars were slapping from tank to tank, like when I landed.
Oh my God! Well, it got windy out there sometimes.
Yeah.
Too. That's another.
Vegas is sketchy as fuck.
Yep. For everything.
For so many reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some.
Oh boy. Yeah. Shit. Okay. So what year?
The rumor. You started to say the rumor. What? Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like a minute and a half ago, you said the rumor was.
Oh, I said the rumor that TBT did all your fucking calculations is not true?
No.
Okay.
He helped. Oh, God, I would be in trouble if that was the case.
Oh, we love TBT. We love it.
Oh, my God. TBT, I wouldn't. That's another guy like that really stepped up and helped me and got me to where I needed to be in my career. Like
Gage helped out a little bit too, eh?
Yeah.
Wait, real quick.
Do
one little stab at Tuner here, because I have to.
Let's hear it.
Did you ever bitch about the suspension?
No.
Did you want to bitch about the suspension?
No. His one thing was always like, as a racer, if you bitched about the suspension, he'd just tell you had to go faster to make it work better. So I just wondered if he ever said that to you too.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No. I think Tuner had a lot of respect for me and what I was doing, which is surprising because he doesn't really respect a lot of people.
well, what you were doing was pretty gnarly. I mean,
yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do what I did without him. Like, that's another guy that, like, Tuner. One thing about Tuner is he knew how to make a fast motor and he knew how to make stiff ass suspension.
Billy Binkley might argue with you about that suspension comment.
Oh my God, Billy's fucking Supercross bike is 10 times stiffer than my world record bike.
And he would still bitch and say it wasn't stiff enough. That's the problem.
I know, it's crazy. I don't, dude.
He's not going fast enough.
Gnarly, dude.
Billy is pretty gnarly.
He should have been top Supercross guy. Like, he's fucking a badass dude.
Yep.
Binkley was a bad dude. I will say that. I was lucky enough that his last year of Supercross, I got to travel with him, and that was my first year.
Yeah.
And I will say he got on my Honda, and I think BBR was doing the suspension at the time, but it was Race Tech, I think, basically.
Yeah.
But he got on my Honda, and he's just like, dude, this is so much better than my, like, even just like stiffer, and I don't weigh as much as Billy does, and my shit, he claimed my stuff was better, stiffer, whatever than his, and he bitched about his suspension all year. That year was funny. I'm not even certain it was TBT though. It might have been PDS stuff or something weird.
Yeah, I can't remember. All I know is Billy had the dopest Yamahas.
Yeah. No, he did.
Yeah, he's on point.
Yeah, Billy always
Me
looked
and
good.
Crater both love the entire family.
Hey, half of it is looking good. I'm telling you.
That's right. Look good, feel good, go fast right there.
Yep.
That was always my motto.
You gotta, like, here's a big thing about Supercross is it's more mental than anything. And,
I just wish I'd learned that earlier.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it's more mental of racing, and it's really, if you can feel comfortable in that situation, you'll win. That's what it comes down to be honest.
No,
It's really not Supercross. All those guys are the fastest guys, and they all can go just as fast as the other guy. It's really about being comfortable and being chill, and fucking you're there to do what you need to do, and that's it. Like, and
don't let the nerves get to you.
That is crazy. Like, that's the craziest thing is,
Well, I think they have a little bit better system now where they're the kids get to go on the Supercross tracks younger and stuff, and kind of get a feel for it more. We didn't. I mean, growing up, there was no. Stuff wasn't around.
The tracks are so calculated now too. I mean,
exactly. They're cookie cutter.
I mean, I haven't raced Supercross since 16, I think, but even that, like, they were for the 5 years prior to that, like, they haven't changed any since then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the same jumps every week in a different order. It's like building an Excite Bike track, you know what I mean? They're all the same jump every time. And that actually helps a ton as a racer, but I don't know.
Yeah.
The factory just, they get to have a track that's built and it's cool, and they're more perfect for what's coming up,
Yeah.
So when they took away the practice on Friday and the day qualifiers on Saturday, and like making it,
I missed those days.
A lot more track time. That's when it started to honestly, it hurt me bad.
Yeah.
That I really was. I was a guy that thrived on track time.
Yeah, being on the track.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
You're not here to talk to me though. So
shut up.
But.
So, what year was it, and how many times did you get to hang out with Evel Knievel, and when was it that he called you the king of distance jumping? That's pretty big. Pretty big accomplishment and cool.
2005. I went for the 310 foot. When I went 310 feet, I promoted the jump as a 300 foot attempt.
Okay.
And at the time, Evel Knievel said 300 feet's impossible. Nobody could jump 300 feet on a dirt bike.
Yep.
He endorsed me and did some media stuff right when I was doing that, and I went 310 feet, and it was like the biggest. It was like the highlight of my career.
Nice.
So that was 05?
05, yeah.
So were you a monster guy at that point?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you say you promoted it, does that, I mean, are you the guy actually setting it all up and doing a lot of this, or is Monster helping you get into it?
I was. My whole career I was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was by production, really.
Did you like it that way?
Yes and no.
Yeah. A little more work, but at least it's getting done the right way or the way you want it, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons. It's just how the cookie crumbles, really.
Yeah.
Right. That was at SIR?
That was at SIR, yeah.
That's cool. I didn't realize that's where you did it. Over 300 was at basically your home track.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Right in your backyard. Right in the backyard. Was there a big attendance for that? I don't think I was at that one for some reason. I don't know what I was doing, but
that was right on the drag strip, right? Like right in front of the.
Right next to it.
It was on the return or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you had the stands right there for the drag strip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Was it a big crowd that day?
It wasn't. I mean, I think there was like 3,000 or 4,000 people there.
Oh, nice. What were the conditions? Was it?
That's a lot of people at SIR.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, they have like 10 to 20,000 for the NHRA.
Oh yeah.
Big, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're. I mean, they can hold it for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
What was the conditions that day? Was it nice or was it a little Washington
it was,
weather?
October, so it was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made
Nice.
it work.
When did you start? Another question I have. When did you start getting? Because I've seen some pictures and stuff when I was doing some of the research to talk to you again. You were getting some good parts from PC. Were you good friends with Mitch, or I mean, you got some? I mean, some. I said, were you good friends with Mitch, or I know you got some good motors and you got some good suspension.
At first, well, to be honest, I got hooked up through Pro Circuit from Villapoto and
Okay.
And
I've heard of him.
what's the guy? Gosh, I can't think of his name, and he's gonna be pissed at me when I say it. Monroe outdoor track. What's his name? Strode.
Oh, Strode. Oh,
Yeah. What'd you say?
different
What'd you say, Crater?
Gary Strode, EMXP.
Yeah.
I said Stumpy. That was a different truck.
Oh, yeah.
No, Stumpy was actually one of the head guys with Strode, and then
Well,
just had fun.
early on. Yeah, that all fell apart. That disintegrated a little bit. But yeah, all right.
Yeah. Which is too bad because that track would have it was going to put Washington on the map, really.
No, that track was awesome, but they got shut down by the county just because some neighbor complained and whatever.
Yeah.
That dirt was so good, though.
Yeah, it was.
Was that right
That
by
was
the? Is that by the jail?
Yeah, I was back behind the jail.
Yeah.
Next to a soccer field.
Yeah.
And the neighbor that complained because it was farmland and they were using it for recreation. That's why they shut them down. But they even shut down the soccer fields and everything. They screwed a lot of people that.
Damn
that
dirt
phone call.
bikers! Look, even ruined it for the soccer people. Way to go!
Well, the people that called, man, that wasn't dirt bikers. They were just there having fun.
I was kind of kidding, Crater.
It was the aggravated neighbor.
Oh, is that how it works?
It always is.
It always is, exactly.
Her name was for sure Karen.
I would guess it was a Karen. Could have been a Carol. Could have been a Carol.
Could have been a Carol. Oh, that's funny.
Carol Baskin. She did it.
Wow. So yeah, where are we at in the career? What 2008? I mean, when did you did?
We were in 05, but we were talking about SIR in 05.
No, but we already talked about Royal City in 08 when that was at Toes. That was 08, bro.
It's pretty standard for you. This is where you get muted normally.
Yep. This is when we start fighting. If he was here.
Yeah. So after I went 310 feet.
So real quick, hold on. Before you go after that, like I want to know what a day, like, I mean, as a guy that's there, you're the show. You've done all the work. You've gotten everybody there. What is that day like? You were tired about getting up in the morning, have to deal with every weekend,
we
week
were
out.
building the landing ramp till fucking all into the night. And,
Right.
Yeah.
An 8 ball of cocaine.
Like, and the thing, like, people don't understand this, but like, me doing that jump, like, and doing all my jumps, like, I would have, once I was done with my jumps, my body was so tuned up with adrenaline, and it's just crazy and surreal how it takes like 3 days for me to come down from that. Like,
Yeah, I believe that.
it's a trip. Like, I'm just like, it's like, jumping out of an airplane. It's like it's like an instant shocker to the body. Like
Have
you
you-
jump into a freezing pool or whatever, cold water.
Right. Have you actually jumped out of an airplane? Just out of
Yeah.
curiosity?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Where'd you do that?
I did it a lot of different places. Snohomish,
Okay.
Vegas.
You've done it more than it wasn't a one-time deal. You've done it.
Nah, yeah, I'm certified.
Oh. I had no idea.
The last time I did, I pulled my chute at like 1,500 feet in Snohomish and got like a $7,000 fine.
All right.
I just
Yeah,
ran to
it
the
wasn't
bathroom.
fun.
What the hell? What happened?
That's what. So real like I jumped out of an airplane one time, and it was for my wife's birthday, and she wanted to do it. And to me, it was like, it was almost as if it wasn't real. Like
It's a trip,
like,
huh?
I could do it again, but like I expected there to be way more adrenaline and way more, but like the adrenaline hit when you dangle your legs out the side of the airplane.
That's when it is. Once you jump, once you're in the air, it's like the most peaceful thing.
Yeah, that's okay. So that's not just me. Like it was just like, oh, that's okay.
I've
It's
never
a
done
shock.
that.
It's a shock to the body.
Yeah. But then, like you say, once you're in the air, it's all just kind of peaceful. It's
Yeah.
mellow. Okay, I thought it was just
Chute
me. I
opens.
was like,
Yeah.
that was like,
Exactly,
Yeah.
Capes, exactly. How many times have you
Okay.
jumped, Capes?
Probably close to 30 times.
Oh, wow. Something you're into. That's cool.
It was, but not anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'd run to the bathroom real quick, so I missed a little bit. But, yeah, that's
did you
crazy.
say it?
What?
Did you actually say that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Anyway, sorry, you're up there.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
I could actually see you leave. I don't think Cape saw you leave.
No, he didn't. I was trying to
No,
sneak
I'm
in and out, but then I got back and you were talking about planes and jumping. I'm like, what the fuck did I miss? Like we were talking about.
Well, he was comparing the feeling to
Oh, okay. Yeah.
the layman that hasn't experienced it.
That hasn't jumped a football field.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean-
it's pretty gnarly. There's a lot going on and no.
Well, so yeah, okay. So tell me what a day. Like, what's the day feel like? I mean, you wake up or the 2 days. I don't know. Like you're building the landing ramp, like you say, till.
You know, to be honest, like, it's like, you know how you just know that that's what you're here to do, and you know that everything's gonna be okay, and like, I was probably the most calmest, collected person when it comes to me jumping. Jumping was the easy part of the day. Like, it was just something that I knew what to do and how to do, and I liked doing it, so it was easy. I never was like, everybody's just like, how could you be so fucking calm? Like, you know, I wouldn't even eat anything in the morning. I'd be throwing up. Like, no, I would have a huge breakfast. Like, it's just another day in the office.
Yeah.
Right. Well, especially at that point, like you say. I mean, it's not like it was your first rodeo here.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? You know, when I did the jump off with Matto and Seth, and you know, being around other guys that are jumping at the same time, dude, they're fucking basket cases, bro. They're fucking
Where was that at?
Stop
They're
it.
a wreck.
Really?
Jesus.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, Capes. That doesn't surprise me.
Where was that?
Australia.
The jump off, yeah, Australia. Was that one of the ones? I feel like I've seen videos of some of the ones in Australia where for some reason, like, fuck, it seems like the ramp is like 100 feet high and the landing's like 100 feet high. Like,
Yeah, that was Trigger's setup.
what the hell, dude? I was like, what is happening here?
Trigger crashed though, didn't he?
Yeah.
In
No,
Australia?
he set the record. When I went 260, he came back and went 277 in Australia.
Okay.
Oh, man.
And then I was like,
He had a
fuck
big
it.
crash down there, I thought.
What?
Trigger had a big crash down there, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was here in America.
Oh,
He had
was
a
it?
couple.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about a weird experience I had.
Oh, dear.
Uh-huh.
So I'm in California, like NorCal kinda, or kind of the center, the middle kinda. I don't know exactly where it was, but they had this privateer supercross track in the hills. There's all these oil wells everywhere, and there's this dude called the Birdman.
Oh, God. Yeah, birds.
Sounds like Capes knows. It's official.
This dude is living in like a storage container.
And at one point, I think he's living in a cave, like in his landing.
Dude, that's it. So I was here, I saw this shit. So the storage container is buried in a landing ramp in the middle of the desert, basically. And he's sort of like, I mean, it's whoever owns the property that we have this. The Wonder Warthog guys have this privateer supercross track you can go ride for free.
Yeah, I know about it.
So I was there doing that, and then this dude's just there, and he starts talking, and he's telling these stories, and like he's got a chick that lives with him, and he knocked her up, and now
His
she's
chick?
on the
chick?
track.
That chick is the reason he did anything. That chick was a badass chick. She's hella cool.
Okay.
But
You've
like,
met
yeah,
the bird lady, the Birdman's chick.
Yeah,
Right?
she was hella cool. But like,
Nice.
yeah, birds fucking. You know why they call him a bird? The bird, right?
No.
But he like talks to the fucking crows, like weird shit. Like,
All right.
yeah, that's. I mean, I have talked to the guy on the phone a few times.
Is he on
but
that
I never-
methamphetamines, or what's he? Why is he talking to the birds?
Yeah,
What's he doing? Yeah. I
Ding,
could be
ding,
onto
ding.
something. Yeah, nice.
There you go.
There you
Yeah,
go.
he fucking got off bad too. Like,
Uh-oh.
on one of his jumps.
Oh dear. Oh, he was an ex-rider or something, or?
No, he sort of did his own thing, was going for the record and claiming that he
Yeah.
outgapped everybody and everybody. But he just
He had
didn't.
like old CR500s in this container. He had like two old CR500s and one kind of cobbled together, and he did a jump.
He did quite a few.
Well, no, like while we were there, he jumped like, I mean, it was like 200,
Yeah.
but he showed us, and it was like,
That's big.
Like, that's cool, dude. But like,
You didn't
I gotta
wanna hit
go.
it?
I don't want to witness this go side. Like when it goes wrong, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was gnarly though. Like that dude was gnarly for sure.
Yeah. Here's the thing is like with distance jumping and everything, it takes so much money to do it.
Really?
And oh yeah. Are you kidding me? I had like 50 grand in landing ramp and
Yeah.
fucking,
Yeah.
like,
Well,
I
you had
just
one built, didn't
fucking
you? Yeah.
stupid.
That had to be expensive.
And you know, like,
but
after
it's
I went
better than
310
dirt.
After I went 310, I sort of went a little different with my career, and I was like, okay, I got the record. Now I need to do some smaller jumps and capitalize on it. I signed with Monster and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So that next year, 2006,
Okay.
2006, I did a bunch of 200-foot jumps, ramp to ramp,
Okay.
all over the country.
Oh, all right.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Like
that,
traveled around or what?
what?
Like traveled around and did them or what?
Yeah, I did one at Ohio Bike Week. I did another one for CBS Discovery Channel and at the stadium there in San Diego, and I did one in Kansas City for Sam's Club, and I did one for Evil Knievel Days. I did like 7 jumps that year, and I was just burnt on distance jumping. Like that was the most year I did distance jumping. And like that helped me even make my name that much bigger, and that's when I started making really good money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the evil days in Montana when you were there doing that too. That was a fun one as well.
Yeah, that was cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I almost ate the pavement.
That Evil Knievel Day the pavement?
Yeah.
I
I went ramp to ramp. I was trying to break the overall ramp to ramp record, which was like 250 feet or something. And I went like 246 and landed way down the landing ramp. OJ'd, like, I hit really hard. I almost landed on somebody that was on the side.
I do remember that. Yeah, yeah.
And fucking, the bottom of my landing ramp, I was coming off of the landing ramp so fucking fast, it almost flipped me over the handlebars.
I was going to say, wasn't it kind of a little bit tilted downhill? Like, because they blocked off the whole street, but wasn't it a little bit of an angle towards the down or something?
Yeah, it was sketchy.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was gnarly. That's for sure. But yeah, it was cool because, yeah, it's Evil Knievel Days, and it was a big deal. Yeah, that was a fun trip, too.
Yeah.
That was a fun trip.
They were all fun.
For sure.
I did one in Racer X's hometown in West Virginia.
Okay.
That was
Nice.
a fun one.
Yeah? Where was it?
Yeah.
Was it for Racer X or just for...
It was in their town. It was for their bike week.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. And you in West Virginia, you would think like, oh, dude, I hooked up with the hottest chick
Really?
ever. Oh my god, she was smoking hot. I still remember today. I was like, that's one I should have married.
Yep.
Yeah.
We love to hear the stories. We love to hear the
Oh, my
party
God.
stories. You got any top
To West Virginia?
what
yeah, fucking random as fuck. My I was married.
You didn't even know
I was
she was
married at the time.
Crater just Crater was on like a 30-second delay. He was fucking like a minute after. He's like, "You found a hot chick in West Virginia?"
You're still in West Virginia when you talk about the hot chick. Like,
Yeah, like where Racer X is. It was actually in the same town as Racer X. Where
yeah.
where
It's like
Davey was
Morganton
there.
is Morgantown or something, isn't it?
Yeah, yep. And it's a college town, and there's just hella hot girls.
You
in
found
the
a beauty?
20s, and they are down. Like,
Yeah.
really fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I would say out of my whole career, I never had any problems finding hot chicks. That's for sure.
No.
That's one good thing about the motorcycle industry. If you fucking know how to ride fast, you got a hot chick.
It goes with it. It's just that's how it is.
Yeah.
That's how it works. So how many countries did you end up traveling to in your career?
So my last passport was stamped with 38 countries.
Jesus.
Yeah. There's a lot of them. Like I did Australia, Tasmania, New Zealand. I did Hong Kong.
Wow.
Japan.
How was that? Yeah, how was that? I've never. Yeah.
It's fucking really long flights and not worth it.
Yeah. Preach it.
Probably glad you're out there now.
Let's see, Afghanistan,
Wow.
Iraq,
Jesus.
Morocco, all through Europe, Russia.
Russia. How was that?
Russia was amazing.
Was it cool?
You know what? The people in Moscow are fucking beautiful.
Yeah?
Like, there's so many hot smoking chicks. Nobody's fat. Like, it's fucking dope.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sounds like I'd fit right in. Maybe not. I'm fat.
They're very arrogant people, but like they were super nice and helpful. Like,
Tell me the best country you've traveled to and the worst. What was your favorite? What was your least favorite?
Dude, I'll let me say it like this to start it out.
Yep.
There's no place like America.
Yeah, 10-4. Agree. Preach
There
to the choir.
really isn't. Like, people that haven't traveled outside the country don't get it and probably never will, that we live in the greatest place on earth.
You've never been to Ohio, have you?
No, I have. I jumped in Sandusky, Ohio.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, but Cleveland's fucking a shithole, dude. Yeah, I already know.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. No, you know what?
Dude, I've got an Indians hat
out
on,
of all the
guys.
places
Fucking back it
in
down.
America, that's the worst is fucking New Orleans. I felt like I was in a third world country. Like, I was like, are we in America?
Well, it is fucking
Swear to
like
God.
a mile below sea level.
Well, most of the fucking East Coast cities are.
Yeah. Yeah, just fucking
I think they all have
God tried to
levees,
wash
man.
them away one time, and they're like, now we're going to rebuild right here.
Yes.
All right.
We're going to put some bigger pumps in. We're going to go for it.
Exactly. Get the stilts a little higher. We'll get this house up another 10 feet.
Just need another levy.
Yeah. Get some bilge
Yeah,
pumps
it's
going.
pretty sad because if you go and see all the people that live in the levee, they're all really poor people.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's a different way of
It's
living.
sad, and that's,
Yeah.
that's why that property is so fucking, you could buy a house for 10, 20 grand.
Yeah. Me and Crater were talking about that earlier about a buddy. Do you remember Big John, Johnny Hammersmark?
Yeah.
He's in California, or it's just we were all talking about money and how $100,000 in California is a lot different than $100,000 in Florida. $100,000 in Florida, you're like a millionaire. $100,000 in California, you're like poverty. Like,
Yeah, yes and no. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just throughout there's in the Midwest more.
I lived in Florida for a while, and I would say this that there's a lot of money in Florida.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Places.
Yeah.
But Florida's a dump, bro.
Yeah, it's the white trash, bro.
I mean, don't
love
get me
it.
wrong. It's got its good places. The same with California. California's a dump too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
oh, 100%.
But it's got its good places. Like, I lived in California for 1 year, and I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Got to get away from the coast.
Yeah, I lived out in Marietta.
Everything's fucking brown. It's just dirt.
Well, Marietta's like the epitome of,
Yeah.
True
But
that.
if you wanted to go racing,
Yeah,
moto,
I was just riding every day. I was training.
Right.
A lot of cool
training
tracks.
at
Yeah.
Metzger's compound, and it was early in my career.
Yeah.
But
you're still having fun then.
yeah, for the most part, yeah. California was fun. It was a blur. It was fucking crazy.
Did you ever answer?
Like,
Did you ever answer the question about your favorite place to travel? And we talked about America being the best, but did you answer fucking where you don't want to ever go again and where you would like to go again? I can't remember. I am, my brain.
you know what? To be honest, I didn't enjoy Europe.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that from a lot. Yeah, it's just, yeah.
It's just not my cup of tea, and like, no pun intended, but like,
Just the food's different. I mean, it's
I
different.
lost like every time I go there, I lose weight. It's like
Yeah.
I'm eating jail food.
Well, you better
The
not
food's
go back
horrible.
because you can't afford to lose any more weight, man. You are tight. The 8-pack area.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, that's because I actually eat more, but I eat the right things.
Oh, there you go. Like Big Macs and Wendy's
No,
shakes. And, oh.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff. He's not eating what you're eating.
No,
Stop
I
it.
couldn't even imagine. And my taste,
He's like, I'm not putting that in my body.
So much different now that like I tried to eat something from there, and it was so fucking gross.
Yeah. No, I.
But
it is.
it's like when you eat the right things to build your body's chemistry to be like that.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole
Bad
it's
cycle.
It's an everything approach, and it really comes down to the food and what you eat and how much you eat it, and like I calculate everything, and like it's a different world.
Yeah, that's
But
cool. though.
when you eat the right things, you get used to you get used to that the plainer things, and like it's a transition.
Yeah, but you still find flavor in the stuff and figure. Yeah, it's just different.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Like in some of it,
Yeah,
a lot of fish.
I like fish. I like fish.
Yeah.
Chicken, a lot of chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, chicken.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
don't you wish you would have been in this shape when you were doing your?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah, for sure. Like, I would say the shape I'm in now, if I was in that shape when I was 18, 19, I probably would have definitely been pro racing. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
If you're a supercross racer and you're not conditioning like a fucking madman on crack,
Yeah,
you're not the top dude.
yeah,
Like, those guys are so fucking gnarly. Like with the Baker factory and like all the different trainers and how
precise everything is. I mean, yeah.
like I talked to McGrath, and McGrath's like, I never trained. What fuck?
Yeah.
Like
That's
Jeff-
Jeff, problem.
Jeff
it's a
Emming.
different era.
Yeah, for sure. And now it's going to be crazy. Now it's going to be crazy too because all their programs are getting thrown off because everybody is on lockdown and like we don't know when they're going to race again. Like, but I mean, their bodies can't just. I mean, yeah,
It's going to be messed up for sure when they start again. I mean, they're going to obviously there's going to be enough. I think a little bit of lead time and to where they start again, but these guys are training to peak at a certain time throughout the series.
yeah,
And some of them aren't even training to peak during Supercross. They're trying to peak as outdoors start and beyond.
Well, that's what I always did. I always wanted to peak right there, kind of.
You and Binkley, he was always training for outdoors for sure.
Yep.
But no, these guys are going to be. It's going to be an odd reset. I don't know. Man, it'll be interesting to see what happens actually with that.
For sure.
Yeah, I think the top guys will be okay, but yeah, it's gonna.
Sure. But I mean, like a guy like Eli Tomac, who's kind of a slow starter to Supercross. He's building to peak later.
Yeah.
And then he peaks late, and he's solid. He's got his stuff together at that point. He might be a whole reset here. It could be really interesting. But
Yeah, who are you going for the champion?
man, you know what? It's funny. I used to really like certain guys, and I just enjoy the show in general. I mean, I'd love to see obviously Roxon, just coming back from the injuries that he's come from is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Tomac fan because he's just a bad dude, and he's always
Tomac's an outdoor dude, though.
He is, but I mean, you look at a guy like McGrath who was an indoor guy and then figured it out and made it work outdoors. You know what I mean? And that was more impressive to see win an outdoor title than it was to win an indoor title because he was so good at that. And it was easy. So to me, to see Tomac
I've talked to McGrath about it, and McGrath said that was the hardest point in his whole career was winning an outdoor championship, and he was just like...
Well, it's because he had to actually train. I read his book, and he says, I had to train. Like, it wasn't easy. I had to be able to ride the roughest spot on the track, the main line, because it was the fast line. Even though it was rough, I had to go ride it, and that was hard because it's terribly hard on your body.
He wasn't talking about the same train me and my friends do, right?
Different kind of train being run.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
But no, I mean, it would be really cool to see Tomac win a Supercross title. At the same time, like I say, Roxon.
I want Roxon.
Watching, whatever.
I'd like to see Anderson maybe, but he's a little far on the points. But
he hasn't done what I thought he would do this year. I thought he might be better.
He needs to put the heat down.
We got a reset coming. Who knows? You know.
Yeah.
So,
I'm 100% Roxon fan.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, but how can he not be though? You know what I mean? That guy's been through the ringer.
And he's got a good personality. I mean, he's good. Yeah. How can you not love the little guy?
I like him. I mean, I have respect for all of them, but
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's gnarly. They're all. I mean,
I think the favorite, like, more people want to see him win than Toe Jam.
Yeah.
No, I would agree. But it would, like I say, to me, it would just be impressive to see an outdoor guy figure it out and win a Supercross title that he's struggled with for so long.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I say, it isn't going to change my life one way or the other. I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm with
the only
you
thing I care about is beating Jeff in the fantasy league. But
I would say out of all the Supercrosses, I'm more in tune this year than I've ever been.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That's good. And then, of course, it has to be the year they clip it.
Right.
Jeez. I was so devastated. I was like, what? No.
Weird shit is happening in this day and age. It makes you fucking wonder.
Yeah, it's scary.
Right.
Like they're keeping everybody's indoors. They don't want them to go anywhere. Yeah. What if we were like running out of oil or something?
Allegedly, I'm locked and loaded.
We have plenty of oil.
There's just weird things. Like, why are they keeping us indoors and telling us to stay indoors? Do you know anybody who's got the virus?
I've already asked the question. I don't know anybody that's got it.
Yeah, no,
I don't either.
Yeah.
My wife's claimed 4 different times to have it, but she ain't got it.
And you know what else? I don't know anybody with the virus, and you know what else? I have fucking gone out and done whatever I want to do every fucking day.
Yep.
I
think 2 of us on this phone call can say with it. Yeah, they can proudly hold their head up and say that. 2 of us. I can raise my hand. I think Capes has his hand up. Anybody else?
One time I stay home.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah, you'll never hear the end of it.
So, Capes, I got a couple more questions for you. So, I know distance jumping was crazy, something that I found out that I didn't know. I mean, I found it a long time ago, but there's so many different records. Like there's ramp to dirt, dirt to dirt with ramp gap, but with a trick. There's different ramp gap things. So how many records did you ever end up holding? Do you still have any?
14. And I hold like 7 or something.
I thought you still had some of them because you were just good at everything, doing the tricks with the huge distances and.
Yeah, I still hold the trick record.
Yeah. So is it 14 separate records?
Is it what? Yeah, like 14 different type of records.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
wow.
And you've done some stuff for Guinness Book of World Records too, right? They've been a part of a lot of your career, some of your career, I remember.
Some of my career. That's where it gets weird.
Yeah, I remember there was some weird stuff going on with those guys, and I don't think they understood it in the first place in the beginning. Yeah,
it's just such a gray area. I don't need a beer company to tell me I got a world record. It's just,
I'd like a beer company to tell me I have a world record.
I would like a beer sponsorship. That would be actually really good. I think only McGrath has got that one.
Yeah, he had some Bud Lights back in the day. Yeah.
Well, everybody in the 80s had one.
You know, Scott Sokovic put that deal together.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, Scott's a fucking shark, man. He's good at what he does. That's why I made the most money I made was because I had Scott as my agent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice. How long were you with him?
6 years.
6 years? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
What was the place
That's when I really started making big money was when I
signed with him?
That was like 04 to 10 or thereabouts?
Yeah, in 04 to 10, yeah.
What were your? Did you have a gear deal or a helmet deal, or who were the companies that you that helped you out?
So I wrote for S&P at first. They were the first gear sponsor to pay me, and then I wrote for a company out of Montana, SCS Racing.
Yep.
I wrote their gear. They paid me pretty good, and then that was 1 year, and then the next year I switched over to Alpenstar, and I rode for Alpenstar for 3 years, and I finished out my career with Fox.
Nice.
Yeah, Fox took care of me.
Yeah, they hooked.
They're the Alpenstars. Like, they're both probably the two biggest badass. Like, one thing I would say about my career and me as a professional is I had the best of the best premier sponsors out there.
Yeah.
I really did, and I was very fortunate for being a guy from Washington State.
Yeah, I mean, you were lucky. TBT, I mean, that was premier.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of like TBT, how much did you notice the difference between like that suspension and the PC stuff? Like when you were getting like good shit, was it just
okay? So like, I switched over halfway through the season, and one of my 05 bikes was Pro Circuit. One of my bikes was TBT.
Okay.
And TBT's bike was actually faster at top speeds, but there's no comparison. Mitch's motor and suspension, bones of suspension, were like, it was like,
incredible.
Yeah, it was fucking dope. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, like for motocross and freestyle, like it was amazing, but like, my distance stuff, Tuner made stiff ass suspension, so I had no complaints. Like, it was good, but like, like on the track and stuff with my setups and stuff, like because I always trained motocross.
Yep, you rode a lot.
I rode a lot.
You rode a lot,
career. And I was always riding. I'd probably ride 3-4 days a week, training, and my track bike was fucking amazing. Like it was pretty much like a mock-up Villapoto 250F.
Yeah, I just remember pictures. Your bike had all the cool parts: foot pegs, like clutch cover.
Everything.
Just everything was tits. Like
I would say for a distance jumper / freestyle motocross guy.
Yeah.
I probably had the closest factory bike to a factory bike could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always had work suspension on my bikes. I had work suspension for the last 6 years of my career.
Nice.
On every bike. And that makes a huge fucking difference. Like, that's why, I mean, the amateur guys that don't have that work suspension, the oversized stuff, and stuff, fucking night and day. Like, going through the whoops, like, big-ass whoops that swallow you on stock suspension. And then you get factory suspension.
Yeah.
It makes all the fucking difference in the world.
Yeah.
It really does. And that's like, I mean, I know that Feld and, those guys, they try to limit how factory those bikes can get. And it would be pretty cool to see if the old ruling, like back in the 70s, like how they had those crazy works bikes, like if they could do that now, I couldn't even imagine how the bikes would be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If there was no rules, no limit on whatever, just run what you brung.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be
interesting for sure.
Yeah. I think like my jump bikes were like, $30,000 bikes.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask how much. Yeah. You think it's 30,000?
Yeah. Well, the suspension, everything, probably 30-40 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money for a dirt bike.
I had 2 of those, and then I had a track bike and 2 freestyle bikes. I had a garage full of bikes all the time.
Yeah, and then you had that that was your mobile landing, right? That you or
Yeah.
whatever invested in or whatnot.
Yeah. Bought a semi one year to travel that thing around. Fucking worst mistake ever. Yeah, dude, fucking. I made a lot of money and spent a lot of money. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah. And in the end, it was just kind of a wash and a lot of fucking work for not a lot of. Yeah.
No.
Made a little.
I think my mom to death. My mom is my best friend, and
Yep.
like, she literally started a trust account for me.
Oh, nice.
For my taxes.
Yep. Smart girl.
And I still have money for my trust. And luckily, fortunately, when I signed with Monster in 2005, I got an option to get 10 grand worth of Monster stocks.
Oh, good.
And I did, and like the next year they went public and their stock split 3 ways, and that 10 grand ended up turning into like $500,000.
Nice.
Nice
Yeah.
job.
Over the years. But,
Yeah, early Monster stock.
You were counting on that last week.
yeah. No.
Just let it sit. It'll get better.
That's all I do. It's been sitting.
Don't even think
It's
about
sitting
it.
for over 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't really touched it. Like,
Nice.
I sold a few stocks back to the owner because he sold too many of them. So he begged and pleaded me to do it. And then I did. And then the next year I was cut off Monster.
You're like, dick.
Fucking prick.
Yeah, keep sending those checks, bro.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was fast. My 20s were a blur.
Yeah.
You know, and nowadays I'm in my 30s, and I just turned 40 a few weeks ago.
Nice. Happy
but-
birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Yeah.
Big 4-0.
I don't feel 40, and I don't look 40.
No, you look
Yeah.
like 25. And
I
like,
know. Everybody's shocked when I tell
like a
them my
fucking
age. They're
G.I.
like,
Joe
"What?"
figure.
And people trip out when I tell them, that's for sure.
Yeah. Jesus.
But you know what? Like,
And with, I mean,
you know,
goddamn, we can talk, yeah. How does, even
Video on it, Jeff.
with all the drug abuse, I mean, my
I
body
did
doesn't
a lot
look
of
like
drugs.
that. Yeah,
I'm
me
not
too.
gonna lie.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was kind of part of the whole deal, too. Yeah. Did you get hooked on the pills after surgery and kind of go from there?
Oh
or-
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same story with everybody.
Yep. Unfortunately,
You know,
it's sad.
fucking, You ride and play hard, and you wreck hard, and you know. I would say towards the end of my career, I was addicted to pain pills,
Yep.
and it sucked. Like, the doctors would give me anything I want, you know, and it was an open market until about 2010, 12, somewhere right in there.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
they really shut it down. You know, and then after, you know, my career, I struggled with a heroin abuse problem too. Like,
Yep.
it's just it sucks. Like, it's this life, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
How'd you get clean? When'd you get clean?
I got clean. 3 years ago?
Yep. Yeah, like I said, I think the last time I saw you was literally at the methadone clinic. I was there, and I was still not in the best spot. I was just kind of using it to get methadone or Suboxone or whatever I could get from them, and then, you know, still use on the side. But I did find
The methadone that program doesn't work.
No, I didn't like it really. I didn't like the Suboxone.
like,
I just got hooked on the
you know what?
Suboxone.
Like throughout the last 6-7 years, like that missing period when I was doing heroin, I was off and on, and I wasn't doing it the whole time and stuff, and
Yeah,
it just sucks.
it's
because,
terrible. It's a terrible drug.
I don't think I would have ever become an addict like that if I didn't ride motorcycles. Like, it just comes hand in hand. I hate saying it, fucking.
Yeah.
If you're chewing pain pills to go ride motorcycles, you better catch yourself, because
Yeah. It happens quick. You get swallowed up.
it happens to everybody, and for the most part, and it's crazy.
Yep,
Not a
sad.
fun life,
Not at all. And yeah, I mean, I wasted a fuck ton of money on it too. Like, I mean, Crater
but
finds
you
it
know what?
amusing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's one of those things. I mean, it's not funny. It shouldn't be, but
I showed him some bank statements the other week, and he nearly shat himself. He's like, I was spending those figures too, building a house. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah, towards the end of my career, like like the end of my career, that the last year, I was smuggling pills from Florida back up home.
no, smart. No, seriously, yeah.
It was
Florida was a.
I got confronted by the feds. Didn't get in any trouble for it, but I managed to smuggle probably $1 million worth of pills from Florida.
Yeah,
like,
Florida was a hot spot.
I was making like 50, 60 grand cash a month.
Yeah.
Like, it was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. And that's why I fucking was like, oh, I could sit on the couch and fucking do this pill and feel the same way that I do ride my motorcycle.
Yep.
And I'm making the same amount of money. Boy, was I stupid.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, hey, at least you figured it out and it's a hard habit to break. I mean, for real. A lot of people don't get out on the other side, so.
Yeah, I just it's really sad. It's an epidemic.
Yeah, it is. It's a problem. The doctors fucking overprescribed.
And you know what? At the end of the day, they know how to stop all the heroin coming in here. They just won't do anything about it. There's too many payoffs and too much money being made.
They're making too much money at it.
Yeah.
Too much money on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best way to get rid of a problem is to legalize it.
Yeah. That is true. I mean, just let it
tax it. Make your money that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let people do if they want to do what they got to do.
Yeah, that's the truth.
But I don't recommend it for anybody because it's not. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe how fast it sucked me. Yeah, it's definitely a dangerous drug.
Yeah,
definitely a dangerous drug.
It's sad because you'll lose everything on it.
Yep, 100%. Yeah.
And people that don't think that are fucking in delusion.
Yeah. Yeah, total delusional.
There's nowhere like that. Those drugs are gonna get you nowhere, but put to nowhereville real quick.
Yeah, it just takes everything. You just want to fucking do more and more and more, and and then if you don't do it, you get sick.
It's fun at first, but it's entrapment.
Yeah,
because before you realize it's not fun, you're addicted.
You're fucked.
You have to do it to survive.
Yep.
And then you turn into The Walking Dead. You're a fucking zombie at that point.
Yep.
And you might run a while and have enough money to do it, but once you can't figure out how to get the money to get the drugs, then you start doing stupid shit.
Yep.
And then you get in trouble with the law.
Yeah. But thankfully they have realized it's a fucking epidemic, and I think they are making some steps, and I think they're letting some of those charges go, or I think I've heard they've gotten better at, because it's not. It's not like people want to do burglaries or do whatever. They just, you have to have the drug. Like, you will, you get so sick.
Yeah, I don't know. There's always a choice.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I never I didn't rob. I'm not saying I'm fucking opposed.
Yeah, it's just sad the families that got to deal with the addiction problem with a kid or with dad or
100%. Yeah, it ruins a lot of.
It's just. It's almost just as bad for the people that aren't doing it as the person doing it.
Yeah.
Because both sides of the fence are ugly.
Yeah. My mom lost a brother to heroin at a young age. He was young, maybe.
Oh yeah, so
16 or 17.
I went into treatment, and there was 91 of us in treatment.
Wow.
And the 90 guys that I was in treatment with.
Yep.
A third of them are dead today.
Wow. Yep.
And that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I don't remember. They told me the percentage rate of people that come back or that relapse, and it was crazy high. And
relapsing is the most dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you do what you think is what you normally did back then.
Yeah.
You're not used to it.
Yep.
You just don't wake up.
Yeah, your tolerance goes back down, and you fucking use your old dose.
And what the crazy thing is now is all that
fentanyl. Yeah.
Coming out.
You don't even know. Yeah. And it's scary now. They put that shit in everything. They put in cocaine so you get addicted to the cocaine, but you're really getting addicted to it. You just don't know. Drugs are scary these days.
Yeah, they're all, even like meth, is super, super addicting when it used to not be.
Yeah.
It's because they're putting the chemicals in it to make it addicting. So you trick your mind into thinking you have to have it no matter what.
Yeah, it's frightening.
Yeah, I think meth is more addicting than heroin.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, it's a mental thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's all bad.
Yep. Exactly.
Kids need to stay off drugs. That's what you're like.
Yes.
The best advice I could tell any kid trying to make it and coming up is don't do drugs. Like
100%. They're
come
not
from
cool.
Somebody that used to party and do drugs all the time. Like, don't do it. It ain't
I
worth
believe
it.
we've done drugs together maybe once or twice in our lives,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Yeah. Once. Maybe twice.
Maybe once.
But
Allegedly. Fuck. So have you ridden in the last whatever fucking 5?
yeah.
10 years?
So yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like, I went and rode at Ward Creek.
Oh, I love Ward Creek.
Yeah, Ward Creek's dope.
I love it.
Biggest jump on a track in the fucking in Washington State.
Is it really? I didn't know that. Fun fact. Keeps bringing
Yeah,
out
but
the fun
most people
facts.
don't know it's there.
Yeah, my sister fucking broke her back there. She got fucking.
I think that jump, like, there's only been like a handful of people that have jumped it.
Huh.
Well, it's a big ugly jump.
So probably myself, and I wonder who else.
Dude, I fucking jumping that jump. You're like hitting your head on the tree branches, and you're right next to that tree because you got to angle off to make it to the downhill.
Yeah, I was gonna say then it goes downhill. That is a fun jump.
It's like 140, 150 feet.
But it's kind of an uphill step up thing where you can land kind of anywhere, but if you clear it, yeah, it's like whatever 110, 120 something.
No, it's bigger than that.
Is it more?
It's like 140. I've wheeled it off.
Huh.
Like 140, 150, and it's all a fourth gear tapped.
It felt like 120 to me, probably just because I'm so used to jumping really big shit. Like that was just kind of a nothing jump for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Capes? You know.
Yeah, so I rode there. I rode at Riverdale. I rode at.
You talking recently? Just kind of for fun? Just
yeah, once recently, and like
what
few years
in the last
ago.
5 years? What recently? That's what I mean by recently.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is like I didn't really lose nothing. Like I was fucking ripping, bro.
Good for
like,
you.
But I'm in really good shape, so
Yeah, you are. Yes, that's fact.
Now than you were then.
yeah. I mean, and that has a lot to do with it. Like,
Yeah.
really.
Do you own a
If
bike
you're
still?
not- if you're not in the gym and you're not getting in shape, and you're riding motorcycles and you want to be fast, boy, are you missing the boat.
Yeah.
Because
Crater missed the boat. That fucking ship was like way
That
out in
ship
the ocean.
failed.
Yeah.
you have to train.
Yeah. I tried to tell him that all the time.
I don't want to be fast anymore. I don't actually give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, but you already got the speed. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I mean. That's my whole thing. Like I'm over it. I got burned out. I mean, I raced Supercross for 12 years straight, basically.
Fuck. Dude.
And like I was
Most people do like
over
3 or 4 and they're over it.
right. And I did 12 years. I think I had 1 year that I missed most of the rounds because I was hurt, and so I kind of had a year off. But even that, like I was still racing whenever I could and injured and whatever. But I mean, I raced from 04 to 16.
And you didn't ride lights class ever, did you? You didn't ride small bikes, or did you?
I did 1 year.
Yeah.
I rode both classes because you could ride both.
Okay, there you go. Yep.
So I rode like 5 rounds 1 year. The first year I raced Supercross in 04. But maybe it was 05. Maybe the first year I rode a 450. The second year I rode both. And here's the fucked up part. I made the main 250 in Vancouver at the World Round, and then I was actually in qualifying on the 450, like in the LCQ. I was in first or second, whichever it was, and I didn't want to make it. Like I knew there was no way that I wanted to go race the 250 main and then go back to the line for the 450 pro or like for the 450 main after like you ride practice back to back to back to back. And then you get your break, and then you go ride your heat races. And literally, I came off the track. I qualified for the 250. I went back to the line for the
Crater was
450.
wore out.
Dude, I was just over it. So I literally like checked up in a corner and waited for James Pavoni to pass me, so that I didn't have to ride the 450 main that night too.
Really?
And that, I mean, but again, that just goes back to fitness. Like I was unprepared to race, to be on a motorcycle that much in one night. Like looking at like Jason Thomas and Hagseth and those guys that did this week in, week out, man, like they were gnarly. They were way gnarly
Yeah.
to be doing that. But I mean, like, man, they were just mentally tough. That's, I mean, more than anything. Because I think physically I was probably fine, but mentally it was just going to be draining.
Right.
But either way, no, I rode Supercross long enough to know that it was brutal and I was burned out. And now, like, I've ridden probably 5 times in the last 3 years. And when I show up and ride, like, I don't.
Yeah, there's no pressure. And
yeah, like, I don't even have to do all the jumps anymore. I don't even care. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So what?
right.
Or I got to follow a slow guy over a jump. I'm good with that. I don't care.
Hey,
Yeah.
Capes, are you friends, or what do you think of that Alex Harville kid? Didn't he he's like
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Yeah, you like him? Yeah, he's kind of the next, I mean, he's kind of the kid that's following your footsteps, I guess, and he's from Washington,
no,
he's from right over there.
I've talked to him. I like him.
Yeah, cool.
He's got a good program. Yeah.
Nice.
What's he doing now? You know?
What?
Is he still around, riding, jumping, doing anything?
Yeah, I talked to him the other day. He's putting a jump together right now. I feel sorry for him. It just
He's late to the party.
The industry is not like it used to be.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, he's late to the party.
It takes about, to set up a world record jump venue and do something big, it's like, at least $250,000. And, unless you got a title sponsor like Monster, good luck.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like it's so cool, though. It should come back. I mean, they just need to get a few people that are, like, back in the day, I liked it when you guys had, when there was a handful of guys. I mean, there was never a ton, but, like, I mean, even Scummy.
Like a rivalry.
Scummy did, yeah, Enslow. I mean, there was jump-offs. Madison, Trigger. I mean, yeah, there was people. And even Wes Agee, I mean, he was kind of a little bit newer, but he's pretty big. Where was the place in You used to go down to a place in California and ride a lot. Was it, do I want to say like a Rawhide or? No, that's Colby. No, what am I thinking? What's the guy's name? Where'd you used to go down and ride a lot in California? What was the place? I don't know if I know that. Huh. So you liked it, or? Hello, Ryan.
Did we lose him?
Lose you? His time limit's up. He's like, you said 2 hours.
2 hours. What happened? Yeah, we're.
Do you want to try to call him back? Or?
We're 2 hours and 1 minute right now. What do you mean?
I know.
I didn't say you.
Oh.
Hello?
Hey, buddy, you there?
I'm here.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
No worries.
We were kind of just about wrapping it up anyway. I just wanted to. What was that place in California you used to ride? What was that guy's name?
Manny's place.
Oh, Manny. That's right, Manny. Yeah. Yeah, there was big jumps there too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun jump for you.
Yeah, that was a 200-footer.
Nice.
Yeah, that was fun.
Nice, easy 200.
Yep.
Quick and easy 200.
That was a 5th gear jump. That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so you also you rode back in the beginning, like you were one of the ones that made the switch. You went from riding a 2-stroke to a 4-stroke. How was that? What was that transition like? Or
yeah, it was pretty easy for
Yeah.
me because I was distance jumping,
Yeah. Did you like the 450 way better? More power?
Yeah, more power. Like the biggest thing I would say is I used a slipper clutch.
Okay.
Which gave a 4-stroke free wheel spin like a 2-stroke. So because 4-strokes jump high and heavy.
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah.
Jump.
You were flying them, sailing them.
Yeah,
through the
literally
air.
flying.
Literally, yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, my whole family flies airplanes, and I'd say I fly too. I just everybody.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Cool,
My dad passed away this last year.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about
He wrecked
that.
his brand new airplane up at Arlington Field.
Oh, shit.
Fucking died on impact. It was pretty gnarly.
Holy Jesus, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Not really what I want to hear. I was kind of thinking about getting a pilot's license here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to just. It's fun. I've flown planes. My whole family flies planes. We have planes and stuff, and it's just some misfortunate event
Yep.
that
Yeah.
happened, but
Shit
it is
happens.
what it is. He went out doing what he loves, and that's all that matters.
Absolutely. Right.
I saw
You were right.
Twitch's old man passed away today.
Really?
Jeremy Stenberg, yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah, for sure. So, is there anything else you want to talk about or bring up or anything? Or other than that,
Not
I think we'll
really.
probably wrap it up. I think we covered pretty much a lot of good history of Ryan Capes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an amazing career. I was glad to be kind of a part of it, hang out, be a friend, and go
Yeah.
to some amazing shows and be right up front and personal. And
Yeah, it was fun.
it was a good time for sure.
It was for sure.
Crater, you got anything? Do you want to, or Capes? Do you want to thank anybody, or you still got people
Yeah,
helping
hey.
you? Or
Anybody you want to plug or whatever? Yeah.
You know what? I just not really.
no, cool.
I
You-
live a pretty modest life. I
Yeah.
train and work out hard, and I work part time, and my life's pretty simple, and I'm pretty happy. And
Good deal.
you know,
That's good to hear.
I had a pretty my 20s were very. I made a lot of money. I was moving really fast. I had a really fun career, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But my life is so much easier and better now.
A little slowed down, a little
Yeah,
relaxing.
I need to pump the brakes for sure. I was going too
Yeah.
fast and jumping too far for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're doing well and off.
Yeah. Good to
off
hear
the
you're
dope.
on the bike here and there, riding around a little bit and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking
all
about getting a new Honda 450.
I hate that because I say the same thing every year that I see the new one. So
Yeah, I love the Hondas. They're the
yep,
yeah,
I'm a guy through and through. So I'm
I know you're a Honda guy too.
always have been.
They're beautiful
Me
bikes.
too. You know, even though I rode Cowies and was factory Kawasaki, I'm still a Honda guy.
Right. All right. Well, maybe we'll see you at the track someday, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
Capes, thank you for doing this, and
Yeah, no worries.
it was a good conversation, buddy. Hope all's well and a great future, and we'll talk to
Yep.
you sometime down the road.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, see you, buddy.
Yep,
See ya.
bye.
Later.